as we've been saying through the day, whether or not this semi-final contest will actually have any bearing on the nationwide vote remains to be seen. But let's also talk about the way in which the Indian Prime Minister's campaign strategy and his charisma has worked out for the BJP, because there is a lot of debate out there about how this is a state election, there are local issues involved, and the nationwide vote is a completely different ball game. But let's face it, there are converging points here, and that includes the Indian Prime Minister's campaigning.
No, the Prime Minister has been relentless when it comes to campaigning. Of course, he has had setbacks as far as the assembly elections are concerned. Since 2014, BJP has lost 10 assembly elections, so including Karnataka recently. But there are no local faces which, probably has the same kind of charisma that Prime Minister exudes. So, and he's ready to, go on campaign anytime. So he's, I think, one election machine who's ready to go on campaign anywhere. So, which has largely benefited the BJP. And in this round, I think they played it smart after, after losing the Karnataka badly, they realized that you need to project even the local leaders. You need to give them space. So that is how, whether it was Vasundhara Raje in Rajasthan or Chauhan in Madhya Pradesh, who had been sidelined, they were brought into the forefront towards the end of the elections. So that, I think all this has paid dividends to the BJP.
Right, Mr. Upadhyay. Let's also listen to some reactions coming in at this moment. Let's listen to what senior BJP leader Tom Varadkar has to say in the backdrop of BJP's 3-state lead so far, and also what Madhya Pradesh BJP President V.D. Sharma has to say with BJP's decisive lead in the 3 states. Take a listen.
BJP is a grounded party, whether it is the macro level or micro level. There's nothing to beat the BJP Karyakarta's micromanagement and their macro management. Macro management is handled by the central leadership and the state leadership. The micro management is done by the Karyakarta. And the kind of work that is being done, the beneficiaries that have been involved, you see, it's not a promise that is made during election time. 1 month before you write something saying that these are the guarantees, when you know you can't deliver them. You've seen Karnataka, where they promised all sort of things, but development has gone to at a zero level. The reality is, the beneficiaries that have benefited from BJP's social welfare policies have stood by.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में इस चुनाव में जो हमने कहा था कि मध्य प्रदेश के मन में मोदी और मोदी जी के मन मध्य प्रदेश, इस अभियान को जनता ने आशीर्वाद दिया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मध्य प्रदेश के बूथ बूथ के कार्यकर्ता, पन्ना प्रमुख, पन्ना समिति, बूथ समिति, मंडल, जिले के पदाधिकारियों ने जो ऐतिहासिक काम किया है, और प्रत्येक बूथ पर आज 51% वोट शेयर का संकल्प हम पूरा कर रहे हैं। मुझे गर्व है भाजपा के कार्यकर्ताओं पर, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री को आशीर्वाद जनता ने दिया है।
Right, Mr. Upadhyay, we were talking about the influence of BJP and Congress as mainstream parties. Do you think that is decreasing with the emergence of regional parties?
See, regional parties have always had a role in the south, because there have been some strong regional parties, whereas in North India you don't have such strong leadership which can develop the leadership and bring out the parties. So you look at each and every state. In Tamil Nadu, there has been a history of Dravidian movement where DMK, ADMK, MDMK, and there are so many regional parties. They have not allowed any space to the Congress to come back for the last 50 years.
Yes.
So that has been one. Or whether you take Karnataka, where you have a JDS, which has been there for 25 years now. Or you take the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, where you had TDP and now we have KCR party. And in Kerala, you have a Communist party, which is really surviving. I mean, only place where it is surviving still.
Yeah.
So this has been the scenario in the south. So that's the reason why, it is difficult for the Congress and for the BJP to make inroads in the south.
It's failed to make a mark in Telangana. How surprising is that to you?
Well, it's not really surprising, but I think from 1 seat to going up to 7, I mean, looking like they're getting to 6 to 7 seats, which is not a bad thing. I think more than that, they'll probably be looking at KCR's party as a partner, because they need partners. like they're done in Tamil Nadu. They have tied up with AIDMK, and they need to do piggybacking because on their own they can't win. So probably in the Lok Sabha elections, they would try to woo KCR to be part of their alliance, because there are 17 seats at stake in Telangana, and which is quite a chunk, where they have, I think, 4 right now. So they would like to increase that number, because in the south you have 130 seats, and out of that 25 comes from Karnataka and only 4 from Telangana. In the rest of the 3-4 states you don't have any. 0, 0, 0. So they need to change that 0 to 2, 3, and then build the party.
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay, talking about Telangana itself, BJP has not been able to form any major impression in that state. What do you think will be the party's strategy for southern India?
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to build themselves, but they have not been able to succeed so far. It's only in Karnataka they made an impact because of one man. It was Mr. Yediyurappa. Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa single-handedly took BJP to where they are in Karnataka, because he was the mascot, on whom they were riding. And he got two governments in Karnataka, BJP-led government. Of course, on both the times they couldn't cross the halfway mark. They were short at both the times. At one time they were 110 when you require 113. And again they got 104. So it was a messy affair. And then they had to go for splitting other parties and getting the dissidents to come and join. And then, so far the experiment has not really worked in Karnataka too. But then someone like Yediyurappa, they also tried to sideline him. In fact, after the 2021, he was asked to step down, and he was not very happy. And they tried to bring in a new face in Mr. Bommai. Bommai couldn't deliver, so that's one of the reasons why they lost badly, because the Lingayats revolted against the BJP. And Lingayats had been the bedrock on which the BJP was built. And it's a sizable number. They are the largest population in Karnataka, and half of them turned away and supported Congress. So the BJP, which hoping to get about 90, closer to 100 seats, they ended up with 66 seats. So that was a very big blow. And then since then, I think they had a rethink on they brought back Yediyurappa as a parliamentary party member and also election committee member. And recently they made his son the president of the state unit.
Yeah. And, let's also talk about how, Mr. Upadhyay, this contest has been an important lesson for dynastic politics.
For?
Dynastic politics, and how that has once again failed to make a mark when it comes to the Hindi heartland states. The Congress's attempts to actually shore up support through its Bharat Jodo Yatra, Priyanka Gandhi trying to strike a connect with the women voters, talking about the issues of women empowerment, which, like we said, have been integral issues, which speaks a lot about why the Congress has failed to make a mark and how it's actually failed to close that gap.
You see, the Congress will not progress until they can shed this, close proximity to the family. The family, everybody knows, still holds on to the party. You might have a Mallikarjuna Kharge as a president, and everybody knows that he has to take the orders. So he's not an independent president. So he is 80 plus. I mean, you put somebody there, and then you're still controlling the party. And when it comes to selection of seats, you are the one who control. You decide. Everybody knows that the mother, brother and sister sit together and then finally take the final decisions. So
unless that changes, you're saying that there's no way that the Congress can catch up. But do you really see that changing? Because let's face it, the Congress at this time is synonymous with the Gandhis.
Absolutely. I don't know how they will be able to do that, whether they will be able to do that or not. But you don't see within the Congress also people revolting. Or, there have been attempts when Sharad Pawar went away and then Kamalapati, so many people did. But then it has never gone out of their hands. So which is still very much in their hands. And as long as it continues, unless they can detach themselves completely, can they project somebody as a prime ministerial candidate rather than just Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka?
You say it's not gone out of their hands, but look at what happened in the year 2020 in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And let's look at the way in which the Congress has failed to learn the lesson there as well when it comes to its state-wise strategy and the impact that it has on the national level then, because it does it does leave an impression with the voter, because what happened in 2020 was quite significant, and the fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan has actually maintained that grip even now is quite a feat.
No, it's amazing how Congress fails to learn any lessons. They seem to just brush it aside and okay, let's go ahead. There is no chintan. After every election results, they say we will have a chintan. We will work out as to where things went wrong and all that. I remember there was only one case where A.K. Antony, wanted to have a serious dialogue within the party, but even that didn't happen after a major defeat. So there doesn't seem to be any attempt to revamp the party, any attempt to find a different focus for the party, and unless there is some kind of a outside thinking which comes into it and the family is able to accept that, so it may not work.
Right, Mr. Padhi, let's also take a look at the top developments at this hour. We are 4 hours into the counting, and the Modi wave sweeps Hindi belt. BJP is set to win Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Telangana, BRS is closing in on the gap with Congress. And Race to Power 2023, BJP leads in 3 of the 4 states that are Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh.
All right, and we've been getting you the key takeaways from these battlegrounds. Let's also now get you the reactions. There are some inputs coming in from the Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Let's take a listen in.
मध्य प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ जीत करके सरकार, देखिए माननीय मोदी जी ने जिस तरह से देश के गरीब के जीवन में परिवर्तन लाने के लिए और देश के गरीब का कल्याण करने के लिए काम किया है, ये सब उसी का परिणाम है। देखिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी सत्ता में आ रही है, इसमें कहीं कोई तरह का कोई संशय तनिक मात्र भी नहीं है। मैंने आज से 15 दिन पहले भी कहा था, ये उतना ही इनएविटेबल है जितना ये कि कल का सूर्योदय सुबह पूरब दिशा से होगा।